I know a lot of you true crime fans do a lot of videos on ones you looked up, you do research and all of that, but what if I was to tell you that when I was 21, I was actually in the middle of a crime like this, and it wasn't just a normal crime, it was a hideous crime. A 4-year-old boy that I personally knew got murdered by my neighbor. They found pieces of him in the back of my garbage cans, and a couple other people's. I think the cadaver dog hit on 3 garbage cans after finding his torso in the dumpster behind his apartments and right across the alley from the killer. Well, that's the story I'm going to be telling y'all today. The story that got me fixed on this and wanting to make a difference in anything. Like, that's why I encourage you people to comment or message me on Facebook or whatever. Same name on Facebook, Stephanie Bowles. If you have a loved one or a friend that you feel like didn't have justice, I really want to use my platform to help you guys. So feel free to message, like I said. And if you don't mind to help your girl out, it's a free way to like this video and subscribe with the notification bell on. The stories I tell is not intended to, it's for documentary purposes only, and to let y'all know what hideous things people do. So please don't take it offensive by the stories I tell, and I will give warnings as due. This video does deserve a warning. It involves child murder, and sexual assault, along with the cutting up of a body and horrible things like that. So if you can't hear details on what happened, then click off. I will not be, one bit upset. I understand, because it took me a while to be able to look up cases like this, and I still have nightmares. So anyways, all right, let's get into the video. Hello, thanks for coming back to another episode of Sit Down with Steph in Full-Time Crime series. Y'all heard my intro, so y'all have an idea of what this is about. This is my perspective on everything that happened that fateful month, day, all that. Okay, so I live in Louisville, Kentucky. At this time, I was in the south end of Louisville. It wasn't at the time a horrible area, but it wasn't the best. It was getting worse as the years went on. But at this time, it wasn't horrible, and you definitely don't see things like this every day. There was a kid named Yvonne Cano. Okay, he was born July 31st of 2007. Just 10 years after my son was born, to the day. My son was born on July 31st also. And he was 4 years old at the time. Now, I remember moving into these apartments. Well, it was my house, but I remember moving in, and at the time we moved in, my little sister was 3 years old. Now, when this happened, she was older. I was 21, so that would have made her around... 11. She would have been 11 around this time. And then I had another little sister living with us that was probably 19 going on 20. Okay, how this happened. To give you a little bit of what I'm talking about, the guy that did it, his name was Cecil New II. And I remember seeing pictures of him posted on telephone poles, because when he moved in, someone found out he was a sex offender and wanted to share that with the neighborhood. So I remember seeing one of those flyers just weeks before. And he lived, sadly, 3 houses down from me, but there was an alley, a little alley, and then on the other side was the dumpster, and then behind the dumpster was the apartments. Now, it was the back of the apartments. You had to go around to get to the front. But anyways, the first thing I remember hearing about this was he was missing. Now, let me tell you, the weeks prior to this, I would be cooking dinner in my kitchen, and I would leave the door open. You know, it felt good outside. Here he comes walking in. Not once, but twice. 2 different days. Both times I gave him a sucker. He couldn't speak English. He could say mama, papa. And I would walk him home because I happened to know exactly what apartment he was in. And they would always thank me, very polite parents. Even though I question their parenting when it comes to that, because you don't let your 4-year-old just wander. I'm sorry, you don't. And if you know that he got out once, why not put a lock high enough to where he couldn't get to? But anyways, that's not what this story is about. So the first thing I heard about this. Oh, and another thing, I caught him in my yard at 1 a.m. just playing like nothing was going on, and I found out that his mother worked third shift, but his stepfather, he was the one left watching him. So it makes me think, like, is he to blame, or, you know, for him getting out? I mean, both of them should have definitely put the lock on, but he was there watching him. The mother seemed like she cared about him a great deal. Well, he comes up missing, right? He comes up missing July the 1st. You know his birthday's the 31st. He would have been 5 at the end of the month. He comes up missing July 1st. And I mean, we had people from neighborhoods over, you know, coming to look for him. And I remember being 21 and my 19-year-old sister walking around the area, looking in sewers, dumpsters, garbage cans. And every time I looked in one of those, my heart would sink, because I've never seen a dead body like that. And I was just praying that he was alive. I ended up walking up to his apartment to give his mother a hug and tell her that prayers were coming from me and my family. Well, at the time, she had a psychic there, and I remember the psychic holding this truck. And the psychic says, he's still alive. You're going to find him alive. Which it upsets me, because that gave the mother false hope. And I don't know, you know, when it comes to psychics, some of them, more than the ones that feel like they are real psychics, are fake, just to get paid. So that really upset me. Well, 8 days after he went missing, the garbage men, remember the dumpster behind the apartments? The garbage men were dumping it and found, like, I don't know if it was a torso with arms. I know it was a torso of a little boy. And as soon as I heard this news, I was standing in my backyard just watching the cops dig through it and crying my eyes out. I still cry to this day about it. Okay, I ain't gonna cry this time. Anyways, Cecil, the guy that did it, I remember him sitting on his porch drinking coffee, just watching them. And you know, they say that people that do the crimes likes to come back to the, you know, the scene of the accident, or where they got the victim, and watching over the case, just seeing how far they get along. Well, I told my mom and my sister, we were standing at the very end of the driveway. I may have had a couple childhood friends there too. My best friend growing up, Cassie and Rhonda, they remember this very well. I'm sure that my other friends like Jake and all of them remember as well. But and my other mom, Diane, she remembers. But I remember pointing at Cecil, and I'm like, he did it. He did it. And what pisses me off is when we were searching, there was cops searching too. And I told them he lives in that apartment, and there were flyers up that he was a sexual offender. Well, the way this house was set up, there was like 3 or 4 apartments, and his was on the side of the building. They searched the wrong apartment in the house. So to this day, I wonder if they would have searched the right one, or if I would have walked them to it, would he have been alive? Or would he have even been dead but not chopped up? You know, and we would have found him sooner. Anyways, so Christopher 2X, I don't know if y'all have heard of him. He's pretty much like, you know, when stuff like that happens, he's the one that will come on the news and speak about it. And I can't think of the word, I'm sorry, for him, but that was him. And I remember us, once we found him and found out that the cadaver dogs hit on not one, not two, but 3 garbage cans in the back of our houses. And that really bothered me. I don't know what they got out of mine. A body part, clothes. I mean, it could have been anything. Anyways, he was in the back of the alley, and we were all praying for him. It was a big group of us, lighting candles and all that, crying. His mother and his father was there. His father was in tears. I mean, when I say in tears, he was breaking down. His mother seemed kind of calm, but don't judge her, because you never know what you would do in that situation unless you've been there. Now, I know that I watched the cadaver dogs walk straight over to Cecil New's side apartment and hit on it because they bowed down, and I could just tell. And it wasn't German Shepherds. It was one of them tall, lean dogs. I can't think of the name, but yeah. 5 months after he was found dead, Cecil was arrested. They had hundreds of pages of evidence, hundreds of interviews, hundreds of boxes of evidence. I mean, it was a lot. They said on a scale to 1 to 10, it was like a 7.5, being hard because you had to look through all that evidence. He was arrested. Once his trial hit, and he got life without parole, of course. He couldn't. He did take a guilty plea. He got life without parole. Well, a couple months after that, you know how it reminds me of Chris Watts. After they know they're done for, they will speak more on it because they know they can't get any more worse than what they've already had, the charge-wise. These 3 cops drove to Eddyville, where he was doing his sentence, to try to get more information about, you know, how he kidnapped him, how he died. I know Major Pitcock said it was the worst 3 hours of his life. He had to sit there and listen to this monster telling details of how he killed this little boy. He said he had been watching him for months. And he said one day he just found him wandering in his house, standing by his refrigerator. Now, I will say that's not too far from the truth, because he did wander in mine, but I don't think that's what happened. Personally, this is what I think. I think what happened is he was probably playing in the alley, and Cecil probably, you know, and probably Candy lured him in somewhere. And he said that once he was in there, he said he just blacked out in a fit of rage. Like, what are you so mad about, sir? What did that little boy do to you? He blacked out in a fit of rage. And he said that he filled a bathtub up with water. And this is where, if you don't want to watch this, turn it off now, because we're about to get into some details. He said that he put this little boy in water. The only thing the little boy could say, like I said, was mama or papa, and he was crying for his mama. He took his fucking foot, excuse my language, and slowly put him under the water until he no longer was breathing. Anyways, yeah, he took his foot and held him under until he was no longer breathing. That really gets to me. Now, he wouldn't admit how the alcohol got into the little boy's system, or even how he was sexually abused, but he did tell that much. And I know that when the sheriffs or cops or whatever told the mother these new details, she was upset, but she swore she did not think that kid just wandered in. She believes he was lured. Now, like I said, I never lured him, and he walked in my kitchen twice. But that's not saying that he didn't lure him. I believe he did. If he had been watching him for months, he caught him outside by himself. And are you stupid? You literally put the biggest part of him in the dumpster, in your dumpster, right across the alley. I believe he probably didn't have a vehicle and was freaking out after that. Like, was it worth it, sir? Was it worth ruining some families' lives, friends' lives, my life, everyone that looked for this little boy's lives, everyone that knows about it and knew him? Ugh. I hope every day he wakes up and he hears that little boy crying for his mama. He is the worst kind of evil. And this is what got me started on true crime. I want to make a difference. I eventually want to reach out to Ashton Kutcher and see what I can do for Thorn. I'm not perfect, you know. Actually, I'm a recovering addict. I've had hard times. I don't blame those on my choices, but I am now sober and I am very happy with my lives. So if y'all want me to do a video on all that, I will. I am an open book. But anyways, yes, this story is dedicated to Yvonne Cano. I love you. I hope that you're up there singing in a choir. I hope you're up there watching down on your family that needs you. I will always remember you. Always. You were a sparkle in my eye, even though I didn't get to speak with you. It's hard, man. It's hard. But anyways, that's the story of him. And I'm sorry if it upsets you guys. Just imagine how everyone that was in the middle of it felt. That stuff don't happen. It just don't happen until it happens to you. So hold your kids tight tonight. Give them a big hug and a kiss. And I will be back. If you have a story you want me to cover, to get your family member's name out there, I've had a couple people write me, but they pretty much are going against what the what the cops and stuff say happened. They think it wasn't suicide, it was something else, that type of stuff. I need evidence, you know what I mean? I go by evidence. I go by autopsy reports, all that stuff. But anyways, I would be more than happy to share some of y'all's stories. If y'all are wondering what's on my face, it's a, yeah. I don't know if y'all know what it stands for when you put it on your body. I didn't want to get it tattooed, but this is my new thing. It stands for suicide, addiction, all that. And I'm here for it. But anyways, I know this video was short and not too sweet, but it's all I have. And like I said, a bunch of y'all go by cases y'all find and this and that, but I was directly in the middle of this case, and it haunts me to this day. It haunts me. I have nightmares and everything over it. Anyways, thank you for taking your time out, and I promise my videos, if you can't notice, I have a new microphone. I hope it's not fuzzy. It's my first time using it, but I plan on getting better. I want to get a background. I want to get a good camera. Just please bear with me, and if you subscribe, thank you. It's a free way to help me out. It really is. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm between my kids going to school, between my husband working, I don't have time to work myself. We have one vehicle right now. But anyways, thank y'all for listening. Y'all are great. Thank y'all for coming back. If y'all are my subscribers, just thank y'all. Once I get to a certain number, I do plan on doing a giveaway. And if I choose a guy or a girl, I'm going to do whichever I choose. A girl may get a good makeup basket, something like that. Or if she likes candles, I'll ask. A guy, whatever. I want to do stuff like that for my subscribers. I feel like y'all, if it wasn't for y'all, I couldn't do this. But anyways, I'm going to go now. Thank y'all so much, and I will talk to you guys later.